So I just found out that this woman who works at the laundromat that I use, whom I've been friends with and have had a connection with for a while. I always liked her because she's very stern and she's very stoic and she's kind of rough around the edges. So when she is kind to you, or helps you out, goes out of her way to help you out, or starts showing you some softness, it feels genuine and significant, because she's not that way normally, or she's not that way to anyone. She's not giving away affection promiscuously. So anyways, I sensed that she had integrity, and she was just like a strong woman, and like a truly strong woman, not like a feminist, strong, I'm so strong woman. Anyways, so I've been wondering for a few years, I wonder if she's a Republican. I wonder if she's a Trump supporter. There was a time when she told this guy to put his mask on when he came in right at the beginning of the pandemic, and I was like, oh, maybe she's not a Trump supporter. Like you can kind of tell from certain behaviors if, where somebody leans politically, although with Trump it was different because Trump wasn't a traditional Republican. So anyways, I found out today that she is a Republican. And the way that I found that out was because she was going through her pictures, showing me pictures of her 5-month-old grandson. And there was a picture, a funny picture of Joe Biden. It was a meme picture, and it had Joe Biden wearing I don't know, either a Make America Great Again hat or something like that. And we didn't talk about it. She doesn't know that I'm a Trump supporter, but I saw it and I started laughing, and I was like, I knew it. Because we've talked about the V word and some other things, and we kind of see eye to eye. And I asked her what she thought I asked her what she thought around the time of the election, if what she thinks if Joe Biden is elected, and she said, I think he's going to shut my business down. So I was like, I don't know for sure if she's a Trump supporter, but she's definitely not like totally pro Joe Biden. Anyways, I thought that was interesting. She's one of 2 women that I've had really strong connections with, and who end up being Republican. And the other woman was an old manager that I had. I'll tell you this story real quick. This manager that I worked at a chocolate factory. My first job was at a chocolate factory. And I had this awesome chick as a manager. She was older. She was like in her late 40s or something. But she was super cool. She was kind of the same way as this woman from the laundromat. She's like stern, rough around the edges, but I don't know what it is that I sense about women like this. Maybe, like, I'm always sensing that they're authentic, like they have integrity, like they have a strong backbone, and there's something about that feels comforting to me. I find it comforting. So I end up gravitating towards women like this, and it turned out that this lady, my manager at the chocolate factory, shared music interests with me. We like the same kind of music, and which was kind of weird because she's so much older than me. Anyways, so we got along really well. We became really close, and she was like a mom too. And one day I was telling her, she was asking me about my family, and I was telling her about my dad, and I was like, yeah, my dad, he's kind of like a hippie, but he's like a conservative hippie. And then I said, but I mean, by conservative, I don't mean Republican or anything. I was like, he's not Republican, as if that was a dirty word. I think I was like 20 at the time. And she leans over to me and she goes, psst, guess what? I'm a Republican. And thank God I wasn't totally ideologically like possessed at the time. I was just, I live in California, and everything that you hear in California is like anti-Republican, pro-liberal, everything liberal. But like, anyway, so I wasn't totally ideologically possessed. So when she said that she was Republican after I had just insulted Republicans, I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to be rude. I'm not saying anything about Republicans. And she was the first person to really teach me about what a Republican is. And because I asked her, but you seem so liberal. I was like, how are you a Republican when you seem so liberal? Like, we like the same kind of alternative music. She likes Jimi Hendrix and the Beatles and rock and roll and whatever. So I was like, how are you so liberal but you're a Republican? And she was like, I'm fiscally conservative and socially liberal. And I was so young at the time that it was kind of like in one ear out the other. I was like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, oh, okay, so, you want to conserve our money and you don't care about social stuff as much, or you're not like a Christian conservative. But I didn't really pay that much attention to it. But yeah, I used to be a liberal. I guess I should have said that. I used to be a liberal, and I'm not a Republican, but I'm definitely more conservative minded now, and I have a family now, so kind of when I had a family, that just gave me a reason to change my perspective, because the perspective that I held at the time I knew was not going to be conducive to having a family, I suppose. My partner is conservative. He's like oh, sorry, I'm itching. I have poison oak. I live in the woods. My partner is conservative. He's not Republican. Him and I think the same about these things. He really introduced me to these ideas, but we kind of investigate things separately, and then we talk about it, and we usually we always come to the same conclusion. So my partner introduced me to Ayn Rand, and I read Atlas Shrugged, and it was really Atlas Shrugged. When I read Atlas Shrugged, that was the first time in my entire life. I was 25. It was the first time in my entire life that I was like, I realized that I'm wrong, or that I could be wrong, that I might be wrong about the things that I believe. Like, it just had never even occurred to me that I might be holding beliefs that I don't even believe. Like, it was life-changing. So I read Ayn Rand, changed my perspective. It was the first time I questioned myself. That's really what it was. Like, in the past, I just always thought that what I thought was true, or at least what I thought was true for myself and from my perspective, and I had no idea the amount of contradictions I had within myself. And Ayn Rand made me realize so many of my contradictions, like why do I support the government taxing to fund social programs? Like, are they even using that money for the social programs? Why is it that I don't trust politicians, so why do I want these politicians that I don't trust to take my hard-earned income money, take it away, and then fund social programs? Like, of course the social programs sound great, of course you want to help people, but do I want the people that I don't trust, who I believe are liars and deceitful and have no integrity, do I want those people to be taking my money and building these social programs? Do I actually believe that they're going to be doing that efficiently? Do I believe that that's even what they really want to do? Have I ever considered the possibility that these people they're not even intending to use all of the money for these social programs? I've always believed that politicians are corrupt, so why do I want them to take my money? Taxing was a huge thing. And then realizing that wealthy people pay for the vast majority of taxes, and was like astounding to me, because I always just believed, well, of course, wealthy people should pay more. But I never knew how much wealthy people were already paying. And because I've always been poor my entire life, I figured, I just don't even know what it's like to be wealthy and to have tons of your money taxed. But there's just so much that I've learned since I read Ayn Rand, got together with my partner, who's 7 years older than me. He's smarter and he's more experienced, and so he just like introduced me to a lot of reading material and these different perspectives. And I've never been, like I said, I've never been totally ideologically possessed. I've like had these positions just like because everyone else had them. I had these viewpoints because everyone else had them, not because I ever really thought about it deeply. So I didn't feel like I wasn't emotionally attached to these perspectives that I had, these opinions. So when my partner started introducing me to different reading material and talking to me about different subjects, because I loved him, I was obviously open to the things that he was saying. And then Trump got into office. Oh my gosh. Here's the last thing, and then I'll go. So I voted for Bernie Sanders in 2016, and my partner and I had been together for about 6 months, and we hadn't really gotten into politics or anything. But I remember when my partner told me, that Bernie is supporting Hillary Clinton, and I could not stand Hillary Clinton. I just want, ugh. She was wicked. She is wicked. She reminds me of the Wicked Witch of the West. So when my partner told me that Bernie Sanders was supporting Hillary Clinton, I was like devastated. I really believed that Bernie Sanders was genuine, and that I had no idea what he was actually preaching, but I just was like, he seems genuine. He doesn't seem like any other politician. He sounds like he's genuinely concerned about the well-being of most of the population, and he seems to want to do good things for middle class and low income people. That was the perspective. That was what I believed he was doing. Anyway, so I thought he was genuine, and when my partner told me that he was supporting Hillary Clinton, the last shred of trust, any faith, any trust that I had for the Democrat Party was demolished. And I was just done. I was disgusted. I never really cared for politicians, but that was the last straw. I was just like, how could you support this wicked, wicked witch? Oh, she's so hot sauce in the bag. And what was that thing that she said? I's come too far to turn around, or whatever. I ain't tired. I don't know. You guys know what I'm talking about. So, whatever. Anyways, I just wanted to talk about the fact that I found out that that lady from the laundromat that I've always really liked, who I figured had a lot of